Well, new fallout today from a controversial moment during the Senate committee hearing on Benghazi yesterday. Senator Rand Paul raising eyebrows and some tempers when he criticized Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for what he called a failure to lead, going so far as to say he would have fired her.
I'm glad that you're accepting responsibility. I think that ultimately with your leaving, you accept the culpability for the worst tragedy since 9/11. And I really mean that. Had I been president at the time and I found that you did not read the cables from Benghazi, you did not read the cables from Ambassador Stevens, I would have relieved you of your post.
Some Democrats reacting furiously to that moment. Senator Barbara Boxer of California said she had to leave the room. She was so angry. Michelle Malkin is a columnist and a Fox News contributor, and she thought that Senator Rand Paul was way out of line. And on a lesser note, in terms of lawmakers anyway, but he's a well-known journalist, Carl Bernstein was on another network today of Woodward and Bernstein fame, calling Rand Paul and those who were giving the tough questions pygmies, political pygmies, saying that they are partisan tormentors and calling this a witch hunt. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, Rand Paul may have raised eyebrows and raised a lot of frowns among the left and the Democrats on this, but I think among Tea Party conservatives, he raised a lot of hopes and a lot of gratitude for doing what he should have done up there. I think there was a feeling that among a lot of Republicans, unfortunately, they had joined in on what turned out to be a beatification of Saint Hillary or a christening of her 2016 campaign rather than an opportunity to ask real questions and get real answers. What was his sin? What did he do that was so blasphemous in D.C.? Well, he didn't accept the Beltway version of accountability, which is now apparently if you declare that you're taking it, you're taking it. And he simply explained that had he been in a position to exact some real sense of accountability, she would have lost her job, which unfortunately she didn't, and neither did many of the underlings who sort of did this dance of the lemons behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. You know, part of the problem for Senator Paul, I think, and the way people have reacted to this is there were so few substantive questions and substantive exchanges with the secretary yesterday that the question almost comes at you from over here. I mean, the point he was trying to make, and he went on to talk about it later, was to say, look, and this is a quote, "By anybody's estimation, Libya has to have been one of the hottest of hotspots around the world. Not to know of the request for more security really, I think, cost these people of their lives, because she had been saying she never saw the requests. Their lives could have been saved had someone been more available, had someone been more aware of these things, had someone been more on top of the job."
Yes, right. And look what the left is trying to do now. Of course, they're trying to personalize it, Alinsky-ize it, and make it all about Rand Paul. You had these liberal journalists looking down their nose, playing the chicken hawk card. Who was he to be telling the vaunted Hillary Clinton and all of her foreign policy experience what to do? What kind of foreign policy experience did Rand Paul have? Well, he had about as much experience as Barack Obama did in 2008. This is not about Rand Paul, and in fact, the kind of questions and concerns that he were raising were the exact ones that all of the whistleblowers who brought this controversy out into the open in the first place raised many months ago, and of course many months before those 4 Americans died.
And the thing is, Michelle, they tried to get into with her the fact that some of the Republicans did. No one has been fired, and she told them that 4 people lost their job. Now that is not true. 4 people did not lose their job. 1 person lost a title, but is still employed by the State Department, and 3 others were placed for a time on administrative leave, which is paid vacation, but did not lose their jobs in any way. And so Rand Paul was trying to get to whether the top dog at the State Department, you know, the person in charge, should have lost hers. I mean, why is the mere question so offensive to the, you know, Bernstein? He's a pygmy. He's a partisan tormentor.
Yes, that's exactly on point. That's exactly what Rand Paul was trying to say, and what I mean by the dance of the lemons and the way that Washington does business. And the reason why it is so offensive to spell it out in such blunt terms, the reason why Rand Paul is so popular among the Tea Party movement is because he hasn't been assimilated by the Borg in D.C. with that kind of language and dancing around what real accountability is. And this kind of Buck stops here bravado is the phrase that my colleagues at hotair.com used. Buck stops here bravado, where they proclaim that they're all about leadership and all about taking responsibility, when all they have to do is sort of declare it and then not have to suffer any consequences, which, of course, the only people who have suffered consequences from all of their negligence are the people who are dead.
You know what's interesting to me is Hillary Clinton is no shrinking violet. She can take care of herself. She's had more than a few dust-ups. She handled it just fine. I don't think she needs Carl Bernstein to run in and protect her, or Barbara Boxer, or anybody else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they don't stop to think how it looks to be so indignant that this strong figure in American politics took a moment or two of tough questioning. Anyway, Michelle, it's interesting. Thanks for being here.
You bet. Take care.
Michelle Malkin, everybody.